Are oil prices too low? That's not a popular thing to say, but hear me out. The sharp plunge in oil prices over the past few weeks is a bit scary because of what it means about the global economy. Everyone's panicking about Europe and what the ripple effects are going to be here in the U.S. Well, what do you guys think? Are oil prices too low, or should we be rooting for crude to keep plunging? Chris Wage, or Waj, I'm sorry about the pronunciation there, wonders if I'm pulling a Cheech and Chong. Cheap oil, what are you smoking? Supply and demand factors have no bearing on the current price. It is merely a falsely inflated number created by a speculation and greed-fueled marketplace. Does make sense. You do have to wonder why oil has slipped as far as it has, while we have at the same time the other big news event beyond Europe being the BP oil spill in the Gulf and what that might mean for supply down the road. So I think he does make a valid point about speculators and their role in the oil marketplace. Brian Holcomb agreed about oil not being too cheap. Oil prices were the straw that broke the camel's back. My business was cut in half in May of 2008 and has never recovered. Oil prices are what determine how much it costs to keep the lights on in your house and on Wall Street. $40 oil equals jobs and dollars. Another very good point. And again, I'm not trying to suggest that I want oil to go back to $80, $90, $100 a barrel in quick fashion. You know, maybe 80 is actually, I hate to say, a fairer price. I've talked to a bunch of people who think that oil in the mid-80s probably is what makes sense based on supply and demand. So we're obviously well below that right now. Still, Jacob Montoya takes the argument about oil not being too low one step further. The less people spend on gas, the more they spend on other needs. Lower oil prices are like a tax break. And that's a fantastic point that I agree with 100%, and a lot of economists do too. Lower oil prices, lower prices at the pump do help the average American consumer because they do have more income they can spend on other things to help get the economy going again. But at the same time, what I'm worried about is the trend. If oil keeps plunging as quickly as it does, it's not something to cheer because, to reiterate, it means that everyone is freaking out about the global economy like they did in September of 2008. We don't want to revisit that anytime soon, even if it means $1.60 gas.